Welcome everyone to the 101st Celebrity Synastry chart reading, where I will be looking into Lisa and Taehyung. If you don't know me, hi, I'm Madeline and it is so nice to meet you. On this channel, I look at the dynamic between two celebrities using astrology. For those new and returning, I take notes on a Synastry chart looking at the personal planet signs aspects, and if birth time is available, house overlays. I share these notes and add my extra insights and interpretations along the way. So if that sounds good to you, subscribe and click the bell to join us weekly, and let's get right into this. Starting off with the sun, we have Lisa's sun in Aries and Taehyung's sun in Capricorn. These are both cardinal signs. They are both active and motivated, and they have contrasting social needs. Lisa's impulsiveness clashes with Taehyung's conservatism, and Lisa is encouraging to Taehyung. Taehyung helps Lisa to deal with her abundant energy, which I feel like is kind of a good thing considering their careers they're in. Taehyung's sun overlaid in Lisa's 6th house. They are productive together, and I mean, we've already seen it. Like, if Lisa is encouraging to Taehyung and then Taehyung has been quite helpful to Lisa, like, that's productive and nice. Taehyung is submissive and work is a strong theme here. They have a boss-assistant relationship. The suns are squared together, so it's love-hate and there's a lack of understanding. They both assume the role of leader and competitiveness is a problem. Interesting, like, if they both assume the role of leader and there's that boss-assistant dynamic, I wonder how that plays in together. I hope we'll see a bit more. They challenge each other to grow and develop, and they initially find each other charming and attractive. Lisa's sun sextile Taehyung's Venus. They really love each other, and Taehyung boosts Lisa's ego. Lisa feels adored by Taehyung, which you could see this is where maybe Taehyung is a bit more submissive. He is sort of like putting Lisa in that sort of pedestal there. They both have a desire for cooperation and harmony. Lisa's sun Trine Taehyung's Pluto. It's transformative and a productive relationship. We're seeing that again. They are fascinated with each other, which we did see that they both initially find each other attractive and charming, but we are seeing a bit more, on Taehyung's end. They both want to get to know each other deeply, and Taehyung inspires Lisa to dramatically transform herself. So I would assume this is maybe like a transformation with her energy, as we saw in the beginning. Taehyung's sun sextile Lisa's moon. It's an easy friendship and a fulfilling relationship. I mean, I imagine it would be, especially if it is productive. There's a natural compatibility and they are cooperative with each other. Lisa trusts Taehyung's wisdom and Taehyung depends on Lisa's support, which that seems to be generally the gist so far, because, we did see that Lisa is more so encouraging Taehyung, and it seems like Taehyung really kind of more, I guess, practically helps in a more sort of like advisory sense, in that wisdom sense, rather than like encouraging, supporting like Lisa. Taehyung's sun square Lisa's Venus. Their views on the world clash, and it's not as promising as it looks. I mean, we already technically did see a bit of a deteriorating factor of how they initially see each other as attractive, so hopefully we'll see more. It's only just the beginning. Love can easily turn into hate, which we did already see that there can be a love-hate dynamic. The only way I could kind of see this, like when it's like actual like hate, maybe there is a bit of conflict, seems to be a bit of conflict when it comes to like both assuming the role of leader and that whole boss assistant dynamic. Hopefully we'll see a bit more with that, as I said before, because might have something to do with this. There's arguments over money, and Taehyung is selfishly ambitious. Lisa strives to keep the relationship balanced, and they both hope to find what they are looking for in the other. Taehyung's sun square Lisa's Saturn. Lisa sacrifices her freedom. Interesting how we're seeing this combined with that Taehyung is selfishly ambitious, not the greatest. Taehyung is too sensitive to criticism, and they both attempt to support each other, which there seems to be a bit more on Lisa's end. They both will mature, and Taehyung may outgrow Lisa, which this seems to be, I guess, another deteriorating factor, like this sort of separation occurring. Lisa tends to be too critical to Taehyung, and Taehyung feels blocked and discouraged by Lisa. Interesting. I wonder how she supports him then, because if he feels a bit more blocked by her and discouraged, it's not very, I guess, stereotypically supportive. Taehyung sees Lisa as all the traditions he wants to overcome, and they both need to really want this relationship to work. The way, like, what's come into my mind, potentially, like, if it is an issue of traditions, maybe Lisa attempts to support, Taehyung in some kind of certain way, but maybe it doesn't come off the best because maybe she's a bit more traditional than Taehyung, and it comes off maybe not like kind of offensive to Taehyung. Like I'm imagining like, you know, like this sort of older generation like attempting to support the younger one, and it can come off not the greatest sometimes, even though in their mind they are being supportive and helpful, if that makes sense. Now for the intermission, this video is brought to you by me, my Etsy store, Adeline the Astrologer. If you ever watch this and think, hey, I would like her to read my Synastry chart, well, I will. I do personalized Synastry readings on my Etsy store, both basic and detailed. The basic one is very simple to understand. It's not overwhelming at all. It's pretty good for those that are beginners to astrology, just getting the head around astrology, or just as a fun gift idea. The detailed one is just like what I do on my channel, just a lot of insight and interpretation on your chart. So if you are interested in that and everything else astrology and tarot related, readings and gifts, then definitely check out my Etsy store. Links are below. I'm always releasing new things, so definitely check it out if you're interested. You can even just favorite the store just to show your support for free. Thanks for listening, and let's get back to the reading. So now it's time for moon. We have Lisa's moon in Scorpio and Taehyung's moon in Aries. These are both ruled by Mars in traditional astrology. They're drawn to each other's passionate natures, and they can have vicious fights. Yikes. Lisa's deep emotions makes Taehyung uncomfortable, and they both have strong emotional responses. Taehyung's feelings are more simple than Lisa, okay? Taehyung's moon overlaid in Lisa's 10th house. It's a neutral relationship, and Taehyung feels uneasy around Lisa. He doesn't seem to be feeling the greatest around Lisa, does he? It's not the best. There's practical reasons for this relationship, and Taehyung feels Lisa is selfish. I mean, interesting that we're seeing this, and also that Taehyung, you know, seems to be a bit more selfishly ambitious here. So I wonder, maybe he feels that the support she's giving comes from a selfish place, maybe. They view each other as a trophy. Lisa's moon is square Taehyung's Venus. Previous relationships negatively impact this relationship, which I mean could potentially happen. We did cover Lisa and Jungkook before. I don't know if this would have any connection to that, or if any of these people are together at all. There's a strong connection, and Taehyung may struggle with his self-worth. He seems to be struggling in general here. Lisa may not be able to provide Taehyung with the emotional nourishment he wants. Okay, so there does seem to be an element of like, I guess Lisa seems to be attempting to support Taehyung, but it's not really going well for him. Both need to resolve their internal issues for this to work, and they both tend to take each other for granted. I feel like this would, I think, be a bit more on Taehyung's end, considering that she seems to be, I guess, supporting him. But I guess, you know, is there any help to take for granted? I guess you could think that way as well. Their values are in conflict, and living beyond means creates strains. We did see they have arguments over money, I believe it was, so that's there. They both need to learn to compromise, and they both may feel misunderstood, yet definitely on Taehyung's end, it's not great, is it? They both like each other, but not their habits. I guess that's how it could be love-hate. Like if there are certain things they love and certain things they hate about the other, they both will learn how to cooperate, and Taehyung sees Lisa as needy. Okay. Taehyung doesn't always understand Lisa's emotions. I mean, we did just see that, you know, his feelings and emotions are more simple than Lisa's, so potentially she might be too complicated for him. Lisa sees Taehyung as narcissistic. I feel like this would connect back to how he's more selfishly ambitious here. Taehyung's moon conjunct to Lisa's Mercury. They enjoy long conversations, and they enjoy being each other's therapists. Sometimes Lisa is too logical for Taehyung, yet there seems to be an issue there with, like, I guess how she's coming off to him. Lisa is a practical help to Taehyung, and sharing ideas is a big part of the relationship. Taehyung can get easily attached to Lisa. I don't know in what way, because he seems to be, I guess, like quite conflicted rather than attached, you know. Taehyung's moon is square Lisa's Neptune. They misunderstand each other's signals, and it's a confusing relationship. There seems to be general misunderstanding here. There's a possibility of neglecting each other, and Taehyung is unsure of Lisa's intentions. Not surprisingly so. Taehyung is sensitive to Lisa's moods. I mean, I guess this would go back to how he doesn't really understand her emotions. So it seems like there is sort of like some kind of connection to her emotions rather than a total lack of disconnect. and ignorance, if that makes sense. There's difficulty maintaining the relationship. It goes back to how, like, we did see that they both need to actually really want to make this work. So now it's time for Mercury. We have Lisa's Mercury in Aries and Taehyung's Mercury in Capricorn. These are both cardinal signs. Taehyung encourages Lisa to focus on the physical aspects of life, which I assume this would be going back to how he seems to give a bit more practical help, particularly when it comes to her energy and stuff like that. Lisa resents Taehyung for his criticism, which we did see on Taehyung's end before, so it seems like they seem to be trying to help each other, but it doesn't seem to be like coming off the best. Taehyung sees Lisa as impractical, and Lisa sees Taehyung as someone with no vision. They help each other with their strengths. In a way they do, because they seem to be helping each other in different ways. So sort of like going with their strength of what they can do. Taehyung's Mercury overlaid in Lisa's 7th house. Taehyung senses Lisa will accept the way he thinks. Maybe that is why there's that sort of deteriorating element, because we did see that they are initially attracted to the other, so potentially there is that good impression this person will get me, but it seems like as they kind of get to know each other, it's not fulfilled, I guess. Taehyung finds it easy to communicate with Lisa, and they have strong communication and an intellectual bond. Their Mercuries are squared to each other, so they have a contrasting approach to life, which I think we did see that their values are in conflict. It's difficult to work together, so I wonder if they are just like friends in the industry, because we really haven't seen a whole lot of like work elements as such. It seems like they are helpful to each other, but not necessarily. We haven't seen a whole lot of like they work well together. Like I feel like we do in some other readings. It feels like there's a constant they work well together. They can, do business together and all of that. They need to make an effort to be tolerant of each other, and it's difficult to have a harmonious relationship. We're seeing again. They have frustrating debates, and they have a difference in opinions. They think the other is wrong, and they both feel they cannot get along with each other. I feel like this will be as they go in their relationship, because it seems like there is kind of like a good foundation, I guess you could say, a good beginning. Lisa's Mercury square Taehyung's Mars. They challenge each other, and differences cause irritation. Debates quickly turn into arguments, and Taehyung has a habit of interrupting Lisa. So I guess where you could see that, maybe you could interpret this as Lisa seeing him as a bit more like critical and selfish. Taehyung tries to force his opinions on Lisa. Okay, so no wonder Lisa isn't interpreting his help well. Lisa is too critical of Taehyung, we're seeing again, and living together is difficult. Lisa's Mercury square Taehyung's Neptune. They think creatively around each other, and Lisa misunderstands Taehyung. They both need to be clearer with communication, and Lisa sees Taehyung as abstract. Taehyung feels misunderstood by Lisa. We're seeing again, not surprisingly so. Taehyung sees Lisa as practical and logical, so we're seeing again he sees her as a bit more logical, which he doesn't seem to be really impressed with. Lisa's trust for Taehyung fades, which I think we're seeing again. I mean, generally the idea this relationship deteriorates. Taehyung feels limited by Lisa. Taehyung's Mercury trine Lisa's Mars. Lisa stimulates Taehyung's mind, and Lisa energizes Taehyung. Lisa helps Taehyung develop his ideas, which I think we did see once before, that they are able to or it's a relationship about sharing ideas together. They work well together, and Taehyung teaches Lisa how to be more reasonable. Again, I feel like this will be maybe with her energy. Maybe she's not able to, I guess, showcase it well, if that's the right word, to use it well and everything. They both move forward in this relationship, and Taehyung helps Lisa to problem solve. There's healthy intellectual competition, and they enjoy debating together, which it's interesting how we're seeing they enjoy debating together, and we did see before they have frustrating debates. So I mean, hopefully we'll see a bit more, but potentially it could be, maybe that is a sort of like love-hate thing. Like, they love doing things like debating together, but the actual debate could make them hate each other, if that makes sense. Lisa takes Taehyung's words personally. Taehyung's Mercury conjunct Lisa's Neptune. Spirituality is prioritized, and they have a telepathic-like connection. Taehyung helps Lisa turn her dreams into reality. I wonder maybe if they were like friends at the beginning of their career, particularly like with Taehyung's help to Lisa. Like, if there is this element of like she has all this abundant energy to like have to deal with, maybe he did encourage her to like go into, I don't know, some more artistic thing to help her deal with that energy. Habit of telling the other what they want to hear, probably why there's miscommunication and understanding then. There's deceptive and exaggerative communication, and Taehyung finds Lisa confusing. It's hard to talk about practical matters, and they are compassionate towards each other. So now it's time for Venus. We have Lisa's Venus in Aries and Taehyung's Venus in Aquarius. There's mutual appreciation and respect, and it's an optimistic relationship. I mean, it seems like the foundation of it is, I feel like just the more they got to know each other, the more I guess they realized we really don't have a whole lot in common. Lisa is attracted to Taehyung's unique qualities and they respect each other. Lisa can get impatient with Taehyung and they give each other space. I wonder if that is why maybe their relationship, I guess, naturally deteriorates. Like, you know, they have these things that they're frustrated that they don't seem to be particularly fond of with the other. So to deal with that, they give each other space and therefore kind of separate over time. Taehyung's Venus overlaid in Lisa's 7th house. Taehyung sees Lisa as the perfect partner. We haven't really seen a whole lot when it comes to like if they have a serious relationship. Like, I mean, we saw living together is difficult, but that's not necessarily in the right direction or positive note. So potentially maybe the perfect partner in terms of career as well, you could see this as. They are complementary and Lisa feels comfortable around Taehyung. Taehyung satisfies Lisa's needs and they both want to please each other. Longevity relies on Lisa's attraction to Taehyung. So again, that whole idea that the attraction fades is the thing here. Lisa's Venus square Taehyung's Jupiter. Lisa feels more confident and attractive around Taehyung and it's a promising relationship. Taehyung may be irritated with Lisa's possessiveness. Interesting. Maybe that is, I guess, you know, a bit more insight as to why he may see her as a bit more traditional, maybe. They can find a happy way to share their life. Yeah, I feel like the way of doing that, though, is by giving each other space. Lisa's Venus, Trine Taehyung's Pluto. It's emotionally fulfilling. We really haven't seen a whole lot when it comes to their emotions besides Taehyung getting confused with Lisa's emotions. So maybe in a way, the lack of emotions makes them feel fulfilled. But we did see that they both have particularly strong emotions. So you know, maybe it is just like their personal preference, you could say, that they don't really care to be emotionally fulfilled by the other. It's not likely to grow stale and they both enjoy growing from this relationship. They want to have children together. Interesting. Were they ever like a more serious relationship? Because I mean, we saw a negative, like more domestic factor, but we're seeing this now again, which doesn't always come up in readings. So I'm curious as to like maybe how serious they got together. Lisa sees Taehyung as a soulmate. Interesting, because we did see that Taehyung sees Lisa as a perfect partner. Lisa considers Taehyung irresistible. Apparently not for long. Taehyung's Venus conjunct Lisa's Jupiter. It's a fortunate relationship and there is mutual attraction. It's a forgiving relationship and they enjoy each other's company. They are generous with each other and they enjoy social activities together. They travel together and people enjoy being in their presence, and Taehyung is affectionate with Lisa. Taehyung's Venus sextile Lisa's Saturn. Taehyung sees Lisa as a long-term person in his life. Interesting that we kind of started to see, I guess, a bit more like serious elements to this relationship, whereas like I feel like the whole like beginning half of the reading, I guess you could say, is kind of on fairly negative, like a lot more deteriorating factors and everything. Not to say like, you know, this relationship could have very well been quite well and serious and all of that, but then eventually the deteriorate, which I feel like is the case because we've seen quite a bit of deteriorating factors. Lisa stabilizes Taehyung's emotions and there is a strong commitment. They help each other in career, not surprisingly so, and they're willing to make sacrifices for the other. I'm pretty sure we did see right in the beginning that Lisa is happy to make sacrifices. Taehyung's Venus conjunct Lisa's Uranus. There is an instant attraction and they share unusual interests. The initial attraction fades. Again, attraction fading, we're seeing again. Taehyung is attracted to Lisa's unpredictability. So now it's time for Mars. We have Lisa's Mars in Virgo and Taehyung's Mars in Capricorn. These are both earth signs. They maintain their independence and they tend to be too critical of each other, not surprisingly so. It's a practical relationship and Taehyung helps Lisa be less anxious. So I guess maybe dealing with her sort of more like anxious energy, maybe she just has a lot of like anxiety as a person and that is where Taehyung really helps to deal with that. Lisa encourages Taehyung to experiment more. Taehyung's Mars overlaid in Lisa's 7th house. Taehyung speeds up the relationship, and Taehyung is calmer around Lisa. I mean, interesting that we're seeing like speeding up the relationship, and we did see like they seem like just saw a few notes of them like taking each other quite seriously. Maybe that was the issue, they like sped up the relationship, and that kind of like, you know, too fast, you know, get into an accident. Taehyung wants to please Lisa, and they both enjoy spending time together. Their Mars signs are Trine together, so they give each other confidence and they're in sync. There is direct communication, and they challenge each other to do their best. They feel they can do anything together, and they do physical activities together. I would assume this is where they share, I think or like they share social activities or something like that. There is healthy competition, and they energize the other when they are feeling low. Lisa's Mars opposite Taehyung's Saturn. They both will discover what they want from a relationship, and Taehyung finds Lisa's energy attractive initially. Which again, they seem to be very much attracted to each other initially, but we've seen a lot of times, specifically with attraction on both ends, that it deteriorates. Taehyung finds Lisa's energy attractive initially. Taehyung becomes annoyed with Lisa's childishness. I think we did see before one of them saw the other as childish and needy or something like that. Taehyung tries to control Lisa, and Lisa feels like she's always being watched by Taehyung. Ooh, that's not great. Lisa becomes rebellious to Taehyung, and there is a difference in views. So, I mean, difference in views. We did see they have different values and worldviews, so that's repeated. But potentially maybe, like, I guess Taehyung speeding up the relationship, maybe he made it too serious too quick. And I guess you could say, like, it kind of made Lisa a bit, like, more anxious and paranoid, if that makes sense. Lisa's Mars trine Taehyung's Neptune. There's a lack of boundaries, and Taehyung strengthens Lisa's ego. Lisa feels more confident around Taehyung, and Lisa is more dominant. I mean, going back to the beginning, we haven't seen a whole lot when it comes to, like, sort of the power thing, because we only saw, like, now we're seeing that Lisa's a bit more dominant. But we've only really seen that they both want to be the boss, but there is that sort of like boss-assistant relationship. On Taehyung's end, I guess you could see him being controlling as being more dominant, but you know, that's there, I guess. So that was the final aspect, bringing us to the end of the reading. If you are still watching, please share your thoughts below. I'd be very curious to see what you guys have to say about this one. I feel like a bit of a different one, like a very sort of like a lot of deteriorating factors, I think, which, you know, for the better or worse, it's fate, I guess. And of course, if you've made it this far, please consider subscribing for more. I post these readings weekly. And besides that, give this video a like, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!